2008 was an interesting year. When gamers first saw Valve were working on an all-new FPS with zombies in it, the first reaction was to whine about them getting their butts in gear to make Half-Life 2 Episode 3 instead. But when they got their hands on a copy, the world was blown away at how well it played. A true co-op game which rewarded actual team play. Marvellous. A year later, gamers are still wondering about the whereabouts of Half-Life 2 Episode 3. But once again, Valve have given us an excellent excuse for Gordon Freeman's absence, with the originally titled Left 4 Dead 2. Set during the same timeline as the original Left 4 Dead, Left 4 Dead 2 sees you playing as 4 new protagonists in the southern United States. So you'll be battling through the likes of Savannah, Georgia and New Orleans, ridding the South of the living impaired. Let's say impair the people of America's access to fried chicken. Well, they're not really dead. They're going for the more modern Resident Evil / 28 Days Later kind of zombie, where they've been infected with a virus that makes them act like a zombie. Fast zombies. The worst kind. Aside from the location and characters, what else differs from the original, I hear you ask? Well, remember the fun we had fighting boomers, smokers, hunters, the witch and the tank? Well, they've gone and got themselves a few new mates in the guise of the Charger, who acts like a lighter, faster version of the tank, but just as deadly. The Spitter, who coughs up acid like phlegm at you, possibly because he's been hanging around the smoker for too long, and finally the Jockey, who'll jump on the back of his hapless enemy, taking over their minds, to drag them back towards a horde of zombies, or even worse, some of the traps the evil AI director has concocted. And speaking of which, you remember the hype about the AI director that would spawn weapons and enemies of varying difficulty depending on how well you were playing? Well, they've also knocked that up a notch this time by giving him control of the entire layout of the level as well. So not only will the enemies never be the same twice, but the actual entire shape of the level will too. This really means that there'll be new walls, rooms and paths every time you replay a level, making each experience totally unique. Heck, it even has control of the weather this time around. And finally we see the inclusion of melee weapons for the first time as a secondary weapon. While having a pistol was a great backup weapon, everyone was pining to go Ash Williams and their evil flesh-eating asses with a chainsaw. Well, lo and behold you can. Groovy. The original Left 4 Dead was a benchmark in how a well-made cooperative online game should be, and its sequel looks like it's going to raise the bar once more. So make sure you get your order in at Gameplay today. You'll be dead stupid not to. I'm sorry, I'm going back to these terrible puns again.
We're at an impasse here. Maybe we could compromise. If you open up the door, we'll all come inside and eat your brain.